let me ask you, because I know, for example, where I grew up in the many places, I grew up on, over in Spencer, South Oklahoma City multiple times. Like, I moved a ton.
Yeah.
And all those neighborhoods are places that I probably should not have been riding my bike around all day. So, I can't let my children do that where we live, and we live in a nice area, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, by the grace of God, here I am, you know, sometimes.
Right.
So, did you grow up in kind of an area like that, or did you grow up like, go ahead and just go ride your bike for the day and just make sure you're back home for dinner?
That was not the case.
That was not the case. Okay.
So, Roger, I think we have kind of like the same backstory. So, my mom was a single parent, me and my brother. South Baton Rouge. If you look up South Baton Rouge on the map, it's kind of like a. I don't want to say that LSU gives this facade, but when I say it's near LSU is kind of in the middle of some terrible areas.
Fair enough.
Right. It had like this one section that's pretty good, but everything else is kind of low poverty and things like that. And my mom just did the best she could.
Yeah.
I went to 5 different elementary schools before second grade. And that's just because she was a paraplegic, grew up in, she was paralyzed at the age of 17. Stray bullet came through her door. Had my brother and I from a wheelchair. So God had his hand on our lives early on. But she did the best. Yeah, she did the best she could. I can sit here and tell you that I've seen every bad thing that could possibly happen, as far as witnessing people being shot, stabbed, bullied, robbed. I can give you that whole deal. But with that being said, my mom, she passed away when I was 10. And I went to live with my aunt that was she was almost like a mother figure before my mom passed, because by my mom being in a wheelchair, she did a lot for her. If it was taking me and my brother to school or all the above, just kind of, running errands for her, she was there. And so I went to go live with her, and she changed like the narrative for me. She had already raised 3 kids of her own. At the time, I had my cousin, but wound up being my brother due to the fact my aunt adopted me. Okay. But he was already in college, and I had a brother and sister on their way to college. So she had the plan for me, and she immediately recognized, some of my, strengths as far as math and engineering, and want to take things apart and drawing. And she just started putting me in these camps, just showing me the other side of life versus what I'm witnessing every day in the streets.
Right. Let me interject real quick. Dwight said earlier in a conversation while we were off air that he was not a nerd.
Right.
And I think you just disproved yourself. Okay, that's all.
Well, I'm a nerd with muscles. I don't know.
That's right. So come on.
I did play college football and track and field. So, but no, man, it definitely was a place to where you had to look out and you had to be aware of your surroundings. And like I said, my aunt did the best she could, exposed me to a lot. Chose different schools I should go to versus, just who's in the district. And, because I'll tell you, man, poverty is a real thing when it comes to education. The high school I wound up going to had, and people take this lightly, but we had an ACT prep. We had French classes, Spanish classes, all the above. And these other schools that was in my district, due to funding, they didn't have a glee club. They didn't have theater 101. They didn't have all these other things that expose you to a lot more than just math and science, which I think is more relative for a young adult or a youth, versus just how many sides does this triangle have, type deal. Right. But nevertheless, I was able to go to college, do well for myself as far as education wise. And, my goal now is just to reach out to others and just empower them. Hey, look, I understand what it means not to have a father in the house. I know what it means to lose a parent. I know what it means to grow up in the hood. There's no other way to explain it. And just not sympathize, but empathize. Now,
Right.
I'm not going to be, oh man, you had a rough bringing up, a rough
go at it. I'm not going to give you a handout.
Right. It's kind of like, now what are we going to do? Right. We know the problem.
We got this. Right. Now where are we going?
Exactly.
That's all I need to know.
Exactly. So, but yeah, man, it was rough. It was rough coming up.
Yeah.
I had syrup sandwiches and I mean,
ramen noodle and PB&J was good luxuries sometimes.
Right. Put it like this. When all this COVID stuff happened, I was like, I will survive.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
So it's kind of like one of those deals. So.